Hello, my name is Brandon Davis, and my presentation is on how group influences affect juries. Before we begin, there's some vital background information that we must know. In terms of size, juries usually consist of 12 individuals, also known as jurors, but may often consist of only 6 jurors for non-criminal and civil cases. Second piece of information. The jury's final verdict is usually that which is held by the majority of jurors. However, the jurors' minority may still prevail during deliberation. The final piece of information is that the minority may act in accordance with the final verdict even if they completely disagree. This background information will lead us to our final discussion points involving minority influence, group polarization, and deliberation. So, what is the best way for a jury's minority to persuade others? This is best done when the minority consists of at least 2 people who are consistent in their reasoning, persistent, and confident in themselves. If a minority lacks any of these 3 traits, their chances of success greatly diminish. A minority's influence may also lead to defections from the majority group as well. Now concerning group polarization, which is the tendency for a group to make decisions that are more extreme than the initial inclination of its members. This occurs because increased deliberation often magnifies initial sentiments. For example, groups that are high in authoritarian attitudes are more likely to recommend strong punishments before deliberation and even stronger ones afterwards. As for groups lower in authoritarian attitudes, lenient punishments are more likely to be recommended before deliberation and even weaker ones afterwards. Research conducted on appointed judges further highlights group polarization. Judges on a panel with other appointees of the same party were more likely to vote for their party's ideological preferences than the average individual judge of that same party. However, leniency plays a major role during prosecution. When evidence against the defendant is not highly incriminating, jurors may become more lenient through deliberation, which challenges previous claims. That said, minorities favoring a non-guilty verdict have higher success rates of prevailing than minorities favoring guilty verdicts. This is due to a combination of normative and informational influence. In informational influence, jurors may become more lenient when applying certain court rules, such as proof beyond a reasonable doubt and innocent until proven guilty. In normative influence, jurors may change their views when confronted by others who are more concerned with protecting potentially innocent defendants. This is why diversity in both background and personality is so important for juries to have. But are groups truly better than their individuals? Data says yes. Deliberation between jurors allows them to recall information better while limiting bias and prejudgments. Normative influence is also used by jurors to shift others' judgments by the weight of their own, creating diverse perspectives on the issue. What about the size of juries? Why does this matter? This matters because smaller juries are more likely to be unrepresentative of the community's population. Diversity is crucial in moderating judgments during deliberation. Additionally, the likelihood of the minority consisting of 1 juror is greater in 6-person juries as opposed to 12-person juries. And although a minority of 1 person in a 6-person group is the same fraction as 2 people in a 12-person group, these lead to very different results. From what we know about conformity, it's much more difficult for a minority of 1 person to resist conforming to the majority than it is for 2 or more people. This quote from Michael Sachs sums it up pretty well. Feel free to pause. Finally, simulated juries can provide a crucial foundation for refinement in the real world. This is because simulated and real juries are often similar in their initial and final verdicts, group polarization, and deliberation. And with this, simulations of a courtroom can provide crucial information and theories which can be tested alongside real cases, pinpointing the specific aspects that need to be improved. With that, I hope you learned a thing or two about how group influences affect juries. Here are my sources, and thank you for listening.